opportunities for your right professional future. Right career, right place. The webinar series 2023.
Dayanand Sagar University. Live the dream.
Nice.
Audio was okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Great.
I
So
think,
this is how each of the participants, each of the panelists, based on how the flow has been set by Professor Rakesh. After the initial discussion from the Vice Chancellor will set up the context. And then after that, it will be Professor Rakesh Kataria, you will be deciding the flow of the program.
I think sir has
We
joined the
have sort of
meeting.
decided that as soon as Vice Chancellor sir is done,
I think sir has joined.
Renuka will be the
Rakesh.
moderating the show. So
Thank
it's
you,
up to
Rakesh.
her. She will sort of, she's the Sutradhar today.
Sure.
Thank you, Rakesh. I think Dr. K.N.B. Murthy, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dayanand Sagar University, has joined the webinar. Good morning, sir. A very warm welcome to you.
Good morning, madam. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
We will go live in the next 3 minutes. It's 10:58. 3 more minutes and we'll go live.
Yes.
This is also being live streamed on Facebook or on YouTube. So we have many participants who do not have Zoom as the thing in their mobiles or in their houses. We will be logging through the live phase that we will be showing also. So we will go live in the next 3 minutes.
All right.
Renuka,
Hello.
Renuka, can you
Yes.
introduce Vaishnavi to the Vice Chancellor, sir?
Yes. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, may I have the pleasure of introducing our panelists for the day today. We have with us today this morning.
No, don't start doing that. That I think.
Good morning. Okay. So she's all right. If not formal, a quick introduction.
Guys, we are
sir.
live. We are
Yes,
live.
yes,
So
yes,
we'll have to
yes.
be.
All right. Okay. So, I'm sorry, this is Vaishnavi HS. She is currently the program head of Udaya TV. She's online just now.
Good morning, sir. Good to meet you.
Morning, Vaishnavi. I think Vice Chancellor sir will also be live in the next 2 minutes.
Yes, sure.
And we also have.
I'm already there, Shinde. I'm already there.
Yes, sir.
I've been listening to all the conversations.
We have also Mr. Surendran Unni, sir. He's director of a marketing outfit Via Media Communications. I will also be introducing him in detail once we start.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
So wonderful.
I think for some personal reason, our other guest, Vasuki Vaibhav, alumni of CJMC, has not been able to make it today. Someone is not well at his home, so he's not been able to make it. But we're hoping he will join us, and he has said he will join in the next webinar that we're going to have very soon, in a couple of days. So otherwise, I think we're set for today's webinar.
Great. Another 1 minute and we are live.
Yes. So will that be Mr. Shinde taking over?
Yes.
Thank you. Just a minute before you start, Mr. Shinde, just wanted to quickly also mention that Professor Giri Kurichet, Principal CJMC, is also online.
Hi, morning to you, Giri.
Good morning, Giri sir.
Morning. Good. So we are good to go live.
Yes, please.
Confused about your future career? Which program of study to take? What emerging and trending specializations to opt for? Are you going to have a great job and career after 4 years of study from now? Self-awareness will help you make the right and informed decision about the right program and the place that belongs to you in this era of industry and technology change. DSU, one of the leading universities in India, is among the top 3 universities in Karnataka and is coming back with its Right Career, Right Place, the webinar series 2023. A well-informed and inspiring webinar series, delivered by industry veterans and senior academicians, can lead you to choose the right career path based on your potential, passion, and industry trends. Our webinars will guide you from the current understanding of various programs to a more in-depth understanding of cutting-edge specializations based on new-age technologies. Join us to get insights about more thrilling career options that are available in future for you. Be the future leader, discover your purpose, and make the best decision for your futuristic career. Remember, after completing your degree, you should be in demand for trending and emerging job opportunities for your bright professional future. Right Career, Right Place, the webinar series 2023.
Dayanand Sagar University. Live the dream.
What do you think a good university should have to give you lifelong learning experiences?
That's a good question.
A good university should have
Worldwide recognition program,
innovative pedagogy and interdisciplinary teaching approach,
best-in-class faculties with industry exposure,
modern state-of-the-art infrastructure, advanced lab facilities,
And wide industrial exposure for outstanding placements.
Dayanand Sagar University, a beacon of inspiration, quality, and wisdom. With a legacy spanning over 6 decades, the university is known as the pride of South Bangalore. Consistently rated as one of the top 3 universities in Karnataka, Dayanand Sagar University inspires students with unique perspectives and knowledge. And now, to inspire thousands more, the university expands its in-demand programs to the Kudlu Gate City Innovation Campus. Equipped with world-class infrastructure, industry-driven innovation laboratories, on-campus medical facilities, and multifaceted faculties, creating a whole new world of possibilities for the brilliant minds in the heart of Bangalore city.
The best thing about this campus is that it is easily accessible. It only takes 45 minutes for me to reach here from Indranagar. Some of my friends come here from Hosur and Whitefield.
DSU City Innovation Campus is so well placed that everyone in the city would love to access it.
The City Innovation Campus now offers coveted programs in commerce, management, arts, design, humanities, computing applications, law, and basic and applied sciences to help students explore the unexplored and discover new possibilities.
This part of the city has always been missing a prestigious campus with these courses, but now with DSU, this will be solved. DSU is the synonym of trust. The university employs industry experts and easily attracts national and international collaborations.
Due to its proximity to the IT hub of Bangalore, DSU is a hotbed for placements and industrial exposure, and also the preferred places for companies to set up the incubation centers.
Experiential learning or practical learning is right at the forefront of things when it comes to student activities.
The relaxed and cohesive environment attained through an engaging, innovative, and industry-aligned curriculum A technology-driven campus and innovation laboratories ingrain confidence in students to grab exceptional career opportunities, exemplifying the university's position as a premium university in placements.
In summary, Dayanand Sagar University offers facilities for the overall development, and I request the students to come and explore the opportunities.
DSU persuades us to aim big and to live dreams, and dreams are the most powerful energy. The values instilled at DSU will stay with us forever, and this is how I discovered my career should be.
Come, be a part of this journey to etch the bright future of the next generation. Dayanand Sagar University, live the dream.
So good morning to all of you, and welcome to this series of Right Career, Right Place, the webinar series by Dayanand Sagar University. This is the series which we took up in the last 3 years, and these are the kind of initiatives taken by the university to talk to the aspiring students, show them a glimpse of how the careers in various programs are. While the admission season is at peak, but we from the university have been doing this throughout the year, be it at the aspiring colleges, the PU colleges, where we go and talk to students and we show them what are the various careers available. It's not just engineering, or it's not just the medicine. You have so many different new careers that have opened up for students. And this initiative of the webinar series under the Right Career, Right Place is an attempt to show to the students under the various new careers that are available, what is it that it takes for them to be there? What are the aspirations? What are the fear that they have in the mind? What are the job opportunities? What kind of work environment is going to be there? What kind of campus life is going to be there? All of this is addressed in many of our webinars that we have already done for this year. And today, we are here talking about careers and opportunities in the mass communication area. This is going to be an interactive session, much different compared to what we do when we have other programs. And here we are today with the list of panelists, our distinguished speakers for the day. My name is Srinivas Shinde, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Dayanand Sagar University. And I will be taking the honors of introducing the panelists today. And I would start by introducing the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dayanand Sagar University, Dr. K.N.B. Murthy sir. He is the Professor for Computer Science Engineering and the Vice Chancellor at Dayanand Sagar University, Bangalore. Sir has also been the former Vice Chancellor for PES University, Bangalore. Sir holds a bachelor's degree in electrical power engineering, master's degree in electrical engineering, and from Indian Institute of Science, and his PhD in computer science and engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. Sir has worked as a research specialist in parallel computing at New Mexico State University, US, and is also the former member of Karnataka State Higher Education Council and the Academic Senate member of IIIT Dharwad. Sir, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Shinde.
I also request you, sir, to welcome the panelists as well as the students and to also set the context. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shinde. Respected co-panelists, Mr. Surendran Uni, Madam Vaishnavi, Professor Giri, Professor Rakesh, Professor Renuka Padnis, Mr. Srinivas Shinde, and other members of the DSU team who organized this webinar. And most importantly, the students and the parents who have joined this webinar. I'm extremely happy to be part of the webinar. And my job is to say a few words about the education landscape at the present time, and also set the context for the experts to take over and tell you more about the journalism and mass communication. I'm very happy to mention that the university has taken the responsibility of organizing webinars on various programs of study at regular intervals of time, with the intent of providing the requisite information to the students to make an informed choice. You need to know about lots of things. At least the following four seem to be very critical. The first one, you need to know about the education landscape, how exactly the education is changing from the past to the present to the future, because that's going to be the input which gives you information, gives you an idea what is expected of the graduates from the portals of the university or education institution. Second, I would talk about little bit about the program study. However, the experts will tell you more about that. Then the job opportunities. The last, which institution to be selected for pursuing the program study under consideration. Coming to the landscape of education, in my understanding, the education has gone through tremendous changes in the last few decades. Particularly last one decade, it's tremendous changes happening. If I summarize the education of the past, about 2 decades back, the focus was on imparting conceptual knowledge, wherein taking admission to a school or an institution is more important. That was given the priority. And the conceptual knowledge imparted in the institution was considered to be very, very important. That was the time during 80s and 90s. From early 2000s and 2010, whatever that you're seeing, the focus has shifted from only conceptual knowledge. They shifted to conceptual knowledge plus skills. Skills and conceptual knowledge become very important. Therefore, education institutions started providing skills along with the conceptual knowledge. Similarly, the paradigm shift also happened from taking admission as a focus to a placement as the focus. In other words, the change has happened from enrollment to employment, where the join an institute which provides placement was the key. Possible in the future, it appears, apart from the conceptual knowledge and the skills, you also need to go out with an idea, with an enterprise idea where you can start a company of your own. That is the kind of requirement that's coming into the focus, meaning from enrollment to employment to enterprise. That is the change that's happening. For these things to happen, the conceptual knowledge and skills are very important. Apart from that, the third dimension is also being added. The third dimension is the application mindset. How exactly you can apply the knowledge that you learned in the classroom to a application, to generate an idea, to start an industry. This is the kind of the education landscape transition that's happening in the last few years. In the future, I think the application mindset is going to be critical. I'm sure the experts will tell you more about that. The second thing that I also would like to indicate to you is that the program of study. Program of study is journalism and mass communication is under consideration now. However, there are multiple programs of study available. Earlier, the opportunities was in a straight line path, where after doing BSc, you need to do a MSc, then a PhD and get a job. But here is no longer true. You can move from one program of study to other program of study, pick up multiple skills, and make a journey in your own way. You can form or you can create your own journey. There's nothing restricted as of now. There's lots of flexibility. You can do a bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's in management and a PhD in AI and machine learning. It's possible. Earlier, it was not there, but now there's a provisions. What does it mean? It means you should not settle down with only one degree. Possibly, you must be in a position to do more than one degree. The clarity starts coming in once you get to the bachelor's degree, going through the bachelor's degree. In the bachelor's degree, there's the right time for you, about 3 to 4 years of time, to decide what you're good at. Because up to this particular point of time, +2, you're not sure what you're good at. Possibly once you get your bachelor's degree, the teachers would help you and the peer group will help you to analyze what you're good at, what you like most, and what's your passion. And quite often it's also being said that a person today must be in a position to, or must be ready to do 3 degrees. 1 degree for the parents, 1 degree for the livelihood, and 1 degree for the passion. If all the 3 happens to be a single degree, it's fantastic. Normally, it does not happen. Parents want you to do something. Please do the bachelor's degree for the parents. Do it well, and which you are capable. The master's degree, find out where are the job opportunities, do a master's degree. So that, and further degrees is your passion. You wanted to do something, excel in something, start pursuing that also. Therefore, be ready to do 3 degrees. That's what is being said. Coming to journalism, mass communication, the job opportunities are going to be plenty, because the journalism, mass communication, the skills or the expertise is required in every organization, starting from an education institution to a financial organization, to a corporate, to the government. The journalism and mass communication skills are required. Where are the opportunities? Opportunities are going to be something like content writing. Content writing is going to be there. Then public relations. Public relations are going to be critical for every organization. Then event management. Then advertising. Then social media execution. Then the anchoring. Then it's also possible to do creating some interesting things in the form of being an editor of a journal or a magazine or a book. Digital marketing is the other area where the skills of journalism marketing becomes very, very important. Therefore, you can consider that you are required everywhere. the journalism, mass communication professionals are required in every walk of life. Earlier, there used to be limited, but they're no longer limited to any organization at this point of time. One estimate also indicates that the number of job opportunities have increased from 41 million to about 191 million in the next 5 years and 385 million in the next 10 years. In which domain? All domains. You may not believe the kind of jobs that are being created, particularly because of the digital transformation. You know, lots of changes happening in the technologies, in the interaction of AI and machine learning, in robotics. Every area has created opportunities in every other domain. Therefore, the digital transformation has created the job opportunities in an exponential form in all domains. Therefore, jobs are going to be plenty in the future. What is required? The ability, the competencies are going to be critical to grab those jobs. What are the salary ranges? They are going to be unlimited. They are proportional to your abilities. I'm seeing the salaries are too huge, too steep for people who have the abilities. There's nothing like what used to be there earlier. You need to have so much experience to get these kinds of salary range, etc. No longer true. People are paid very huge salaries if the talent, if the competencies exist. The last point I would like to mention is about an institution. How to choose an institution. You are decided about program of studies. You are convinced that jobs are available. You are also aware of the education landscape. Now you need to look at the institution of your choice. An institution which provides you the opportunities to try out. An institution which provides you flexibility. An institution which provides you to do more than one thing simultaneously. What do I mean by that? By that I mean, by joining a bachelor's degree in journalism, mass communication, is it possible for you to do a minor in engineering, computer science, minor in AI and machine learning, a minor in design thinking, a minor in law? All those options are there in Dayanand Sagar University. Dayanand Sagar University provides lots of flexibilities. Doing more than one degree is possible, a major degree and a minor degree. And it also provides you enough opportunities for the internships, the project work in the industry, and you will be working very closely with the professionals. Thereby, you will graduate from the portals of this university with the requisite skills. And you will be the most sought after professional upon graduation because you have all the requisite competences. I'm sure Dayanand Sagar University will provide you enough opportunities and also the flexibility. And one important thing that you also need to understand now, on every minute, jobs are being created. And I'm given to understand the recent ChatGPT, which was released in November 2022, within a matter of 6 months, several job opportunities are created around. And ChatGPT or GPT, which is normally referred to as GPT, is being used everywhere. It's being used by all professionals. Engineering professional, financial professional, and a journalist, anybody and everybody can use it. All that is required is to understand the power of GPT and what are the ways in which it can be utilized. And I'm sure the Dayanand Sagar University will provide you opportunities to use the newer technologies because we have created enough innovation labs jointly with the industry. And also there will be lots of interaction that are being organized with the professionals. By end of this program, you will have a satisfying knowledge levels to face the challenges of the real world. With these few words, I thank the experts for agreeing to our request to be with us, share their experience and also their knowledge about this program study. And I wish each one of you best of luck. And I'm very certain, I'm very confident, every student of present day can do lots of things. The abilities are immense. The abilities are going to be utilized in the best possible way. The experts will tell you more about that. And I stop here by thanking the organizers for inviting me to share few opening remarks with all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We now request Ms. Renuka Fadnis to take over. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Shinde. To go on with today's program, I would like to quickly read out an introduction to the panelists, and then we'll go on with whatever we have to discuss for the day. So I had mentioned Ms. Vaishnavi HS. She is, like I mentioned before, the program head currently for Udaya TV. She's also the former programming head of Color Super, Viacom 18's Kannada GEC, and former regional programming director for Radio City South. So there's a whole, huge wealth of experience and current industry, work that our resource person is doing from the channel programming segment. We have also Mr. Surendran Unni. He is the founder director of the marketing outfit called Via Media Communications, and he's also teaching integrated marketing communication as well as advertising and copywriting. And also we have with us our other faculty members. I have already mentioned Professor Rakesh Katare, Giri Kurichir, and also Dr. Abhilasha. She's also there today with us. And of course, I'm also here. And just before getting into the panel discussion, I just like to say that journalism is a very fast-changing industry. Like Sir, our Vice Chancellor, Sir, also mentioned, technology has a big role to play, and while the favorites will always remain medical or medicine or engineering or especially IT, because that is where the economy is headed. All the same, journalism is just as fascinating, if at all, if for no other reason, but for the fact that life in all its facets is becoming increasingly complex, and interpreting that and telling the people, especially in the kind of worlds that we live in, very interconnected, multifaceted, the role of the media, especially in democracies, becomes very important. And which is why I would say there are still people who are fascinated by the media, who still want to be a part of this thriving, very lively industry. And just like every other field that's been changing by media, rather by technology, media is no exception. So the way we are gathering news, the way we are sharing news has been changing and has already changed dramatically. So unless we are ahead of this change, we are still very soon going to become dinosaurs. But then how do students make sense of this great change that is happening around us? How media is changing? How do we master these new technologies? Like our Vice Chancellor also mentioned ChatGPT. Yes, there is ChatGPT, but then is there something that humans can add, with their minds to what ChatGPT is getting, like, like almost like instant noodles. Yeah, that is there. So I think we are at a very critical juncture, if I could say so, in time as well as in place, as in being a media institution, a media college that is looking at teaching students skills that have got to be relevant to today's media industry. And you can actually see the changes. The students will no longer read, they may not read newspapers simply because they are consuming news in a very different way than people of my generation did. We actually used to read newspapers, but then, today's students might just have an app or might just go online, and they might be reading it on different devices. And we are also living in a time where time and space have been kind of overcome, so all these changes pose tremendous challenges to the media industry as well as to media professionals. So I think if it's okay with everyone else, we can go on with the panel discussion. And what I was saying is, there are a couple of themes that have been identified. For instance, of course, they are all around media education, like what skills really do students need to become part of this media industry? What kind of colleges should they look for? Should they go only by advertisements? Should they also look at, say, rankings? How much do rankings matter? How do they decide which college is the best that will suit their requirements? Then there is a whole lot of focus now on practical skills, and which is of course very true. The practical skills are needed because media in many ways is a lot about actually doing, about being at a spot. But then even those ideas have been changing because of course there is no requirement for every journalist to be everywhere. That idea itself has changed. Secondly, I think the pandemic itself has made a huge change to the way news is being chronicled, the way news is being recorded. The second point I'd also like to say is that now everybody is a journalist. Anyone who has a mobile phone can become a photographer. Anyone who has a mobile phone can record information and can share it with thousands of people. Then there is social media. So digitization, social media, it makes all of us journalists and photographers. So where is it really different from the traditional or conventional media? So yes, there are a whole lot of issues and topics and subtopics that I'm sure will arise as we keep going on. So I'll go on with the first question, or rather the first theme that could be answered or discussed by the panel members. And I'm saying what qualities really are required for students to consider getting into the field of media. I invite the panelists to go on, and then after that maybe we can look at what kind of institution or college should they consider. Is it something that is providing only practical knowledge? Is it something that is giving them only skills? Is it something that's going to arm them with social media familiarization? What about infrastructure in a college? How much do all these things matter? So both from the point of view or the perspective of the student as well as of the institution, if the panelists could throw some light on it, that would be great. So
who starts? I think.
Yes, Mr. Srivan, please go on.
Now, do I start, or is it Vaishnavi or Rakesh sir?
Yes, please, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Skills. I think primarily here, I had a different plan in mind, but since this question is directed, it's a very specific question. So let me start with the specific answer. And Renugaji, kindly let me know as to what is the time given to me, because we people, when we start talking, especially the faculty, and I'm in marketing, we are so used to talking and much less of listening actually. So we get carried off or carried away. So please tell me for this question, how much of time? Be very merciless.
Yes.
Can tell me.
That I'll
what you want.
be. Okay, yes, sir, thank you.
Let me
Yes,
plan
sir.
it accordingly.
Yes, yes, sure, please go.
Or you can just tell me, give me some signal when it's. time.
Yes, sure, please.
Yeah. I would safely assume that about 5 to 10 minutes,
Yeah.
just for my own planning.
Yeah.
The skills, let me take it from the student side. One, as I say, I'm thinking as I'm talking. One would be interest, of course, the genuine interest or a passion, what Murthy sir was referring to. I've seen students, who are lost, who are totally disinterested in what is going on. You tell them anything good, anything bad, their expression is the same. Many of them doze off in the class. So it is as though, somebody has pushed them there. It is not as though they have opted for it, or their awareness per se is very low about what they are doing. For that to interest them, it's apparent, from the body language, from the interest levels, from the expression, from the what you call eagerness they show, or the excitement it generates, or the engagement we get from them. So the first and foremost thing is to be actively interested, knowing what is in store for them in media studies, in mass communication. That is the thing. If there is an interest, they'll find out reading material, they'll find out the practical training opportunities, all these things will come to them. But interest is the first and foremost requirement or a prerequisite, as I see. Second is doing a lot outside what the class wants you to do or what the academics portions want you to do. Like, it is to get fairly good marks. Thankfully, a reasonable good amount of reading is good enough, and some preparation. And for many of them, it's on the eve of the exam. So if you have to really become very good or expert or well-versed in media studies, like any other subject, of course, the work is more intensive in other disciplines like medicine and engineering. Of course, the quantum of work is much more over there. Here it is quality work, but for them to really become experts in that line, they have to watch a lot. If they are in advertising related subjects, they have to watch films, they have to listen to radio, they have to read a lot. They have to actually try writing if they are seriously looking at journalism of any genre or anywhere connected to journalism. The student should necessarily practice writing, and they should go through a lot of material which gradually takes them to the threshold of what they have in mind. So this is the preparation outside academics. Of course, listening to the faculty, being there in the class, all these are understood. Those are the bare minimum. It is like, talking on a cell phone. I can talk on my cell phone is not a big achievement. That's the minimum expected of a cell phone. But what the other facilities are, those things contribute equally. So that is second. Third, start doing things yourself. You start, right? If you are interested in, when I say you, it is not the panelists. I know it's understood. It is the students. They have to start writing copy for brands. You create in fact, I used to repeatedly tell my students, you select a product or a service, create a quality branding out of it. And you give right from the name, tagline, logo onwards, you start building a brand. You also say how you're going to market it. You say what is the target group for that. You say what is the brand positioning for that. So when you start doing this, and in my class, I tried out something like getting them to actually come forward and present a brand, an existing brand, like, Apple or IKEA or anything. They are supposed to do the background preparation, come and present it to the class. We would all be like the client sitting there across the table asking questions. If it's a presentation, we ask them questions. We can really make them uncomfortable through our questions, but they should be equipped to, because actually presenting your views, your findings, and your, when you present a PPT, you are supposed to answer the questions with a lot of conviction. So they need to practice this in the classroom itself, not outside when you get employed. So this is another skill which has to go side by side, yeah, and get many opportunities as provided by the institution. Most of the well-known institutions, all the institutions I've been associated with so far, at least there are 3 institutions where I've been consistently connected with in the last 12 years. All of them have a number of opportunities at every point during the year or during every year for the student to update and improve and, you know, innovate and to sort of update themselves with new information, listen to a lot of experts, make the best use of this. It is not just about textbook reading. And of course, watching commercials, say for an advertising person, watching commercials. Media is so extensive now. The coverage of media is so extensive. You get a lot of material. Everything except your parents you find on Google. So you can virtually get information on anything, any subject, anything that you ask for, you know, you can Google and get a lot of information, read extensively, ask questions, attend classes. So this would be the first part. From the side of the institution, let me add, the institution needs to be well-versed, should have industry specialists side by side, along with well-versed, qualified academicians. Both are required. It's not just about academically brilliant people or only industry people. A marriage of both these will really give the best output to the student, according to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
one final point.
Yeah.
There should be studios in every institution. Audio studio, post-production, video editing, all these things. These are the things that will draw a student in. If somebody wants to join an institution, these are the things that a student should ideally look for necessarily. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Unni. Very important, pertinent points. So shall we go on to the other panelists? Vaishnavi, would you like to add to that?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Renika, and a very good morning to all my co-panelists and of course, students and parents who have joined in. This is a very pleasure to be here, and you know, it's a topic that really gets me going. And like Dr. Murthy had given a wonderful introduction to the whole topic, because things have changed so much. And just to get back to the question at hand, I think the most important factor, of course, it's a very cliched one that I'm going to talk about, but it's creativity. But so how do you know if you're creative? We've heard a lot about out of the box thinking, but I think there is also a challenge when you think inside the box. So if you're able to do both, if you have the innovative skills of being an out of the box thinker, at the same time, if you can also play by the rules and come up with innovative solutions when you think inside the box, I think it's a great quality to have to become somebody in the field of journalism and media studies. Second point I would say is your passion. So again, a very cliched point, but how do you test your passion? You test your passion when you know it's not just about the glamour that you're associated with. So when you hear about journalism and media studies, you're often carried away thinking, oh, it's a very glamorous field, so life is all smooth and it's just a cruise. It isn't. So it's very important to know that there is a lot of hard work involved. And if your passion is more in the process, that's when you know you're cut out for this industry and not just the result. So when you look at your, the people in the industry, look at what their everyday life looks like. So if the so-called boring, mundane, everyday stuff gets you going and interested, that's where you have your real passion, and not just on an award-winning night. So if you're just getting excited about the end result, then you have to think again. But if it's the process that gets you going, if it's something that you wake up every morning wanting to do, I think, half the battle is won. You're in the right field. The third thing I would like to say is the mindset. So, of course, you will know that there are people with fixed mindset and growth mindset. So basically the difference is, if you have talent alone, it's not enough to make it big in this industry. while talent is very crucial, the bigger thing is to have a growth mindset. The fact that your efforts is as important, if not more, than your talent alone. So if these three things, I think, can come together, you kind of, in fact, even if two of these things are with you already, you can always work on a third thing. But I think you will know at the heart whether you're cut out for this industry, because that's something that's there, right within you. Coming quickly to the kind of university you should choose for, I think the most important critical factor for me is the culture that you're speaking about. So when we talk about a culture of a university or an educational institution, I think a lot of points that I quite liked what Dr. Murthy said was about the fact of flexibility of choosing disciplines. I think you're really lucky to be born in the 2000s. I think this generation has a lot more support from the parents and the faculty, because the parents, like you rightly mentioned, are probably from the 70s. So when we grew up in the generation where they were the education was very much it was very straightforward, in the sense of you had to choose just one subject or the other, versus today, if a university is giving you the kind of flexibility which allows you to get multidisciplinary skills, I think that is a fantastic place to be. And also look at the alumni network. I think it's very important to see the people who have passed out from the university and how they are doing in the field. So that also kind of gives you an added advantage into so it's not just about the exact syllabus, while it's very important, syllabus and the studies and the subjects that it's going to be covered, but also look at the overall ambience and and study it from a perspective of, will it give you a head start in the industry?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Vaishnavi. Rakesh, would you like to add to that?
I think your audio is on mute.
Our audio is.
Ask to Amit.
Okay, sorry. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. K.N.V. Murthy sir for giving us this opportunity and for creating this platform to Mr. Srinivas Shinde. It's a nice way to interact with so many people from the industry, people who are in the industry, people who have served the industry and are also now academicians. My take has been that, after having spent about 8 years in the industry, in the field, winning my awards or whatever for filmmaking, documentary filmmaking, I have spent rest of my time, which is about close to 22, 24 years in academia. And I think, every institution, every 5 years, the institution has to change. There was a time when we were doing our journalism studies. Journalism itself meant only print media. And from print media, when Vaishnavi was a student, television was emerging and it was sort of elbowing out, the print media. Now the print media continues to exist. It continues to be large. It continues to be respected and trusted. But, television is what is become the air that we breathe. But I'm not very sure if this will remain so in the future, because if you really see the amount of consumption of mobiles, it's really very, very high. Younger generation seems to be taking to mobiles and, the form of consumption of media is very, very different. Earlier, we used to get one newspaper at home and that would be read by the entire joint family. And then you have television where you have general family viewing. Now the mode of consumption has become very individual. So it is, although it is called social media, it is between you and your mobile set. So how do you really communicate with these people? That is the challenge that, every course has to meet. Now, there are certain basic foundational levels, that we are really looking at, and Dr. Murthy said it so well, that today you need to, how are you getting ready for a career? You're still in your formative stages. You're still, sort of feeling, what is good for you. What am I really good at? many of the people that I have seen in my life, students, they haven't gone through this process of knowing what they are good at. Okay, this is, this process of discovery, self-discovery is very, very important. And I think under the new education policy of the government, we have, for the first time, the students have the opportunity to feel the waters, test the waters, and then say, I'm going to specialize in this area. So when you choose your college, you have to choose a college which is in tune with the latest education policy. That is one. Second is, does it offer you flexibility? Earlier, we used to, once you are locked up in a program, you were locked up for the next 3 years. Now under NEP, you can discard the course at the end of the first year, second year, or the third year. So after the first year, you'll get a certificate. Second year, you get the diploma. Third year, you get the degree. And fourth year, you have the honors degree. So you have the flexibility to actually give up your course or take up the course at any point of your, this degree education. So what happens is, if you are not satisfied with what you have, what you're learning, supposing you discover that, okay, journalism is not my calling, I want to do sciences. You can always, from the second year onwards, you can probably, you can terminate that 1 year is not a waste. You're still getting a certificate. You can claim that you have some knowledge in journalism. Of course, the thing is that once you do the fourth year degree, which is the honors degree, you can also go directly into research. You can go jump all the way from undergraduate, honors program to all the way to PhD. This kind of flexibility, I don't think, we ever had. So I think, along with flexibility comes responsibility. The thing is, how does the student really navigate through the choices that he has today? Okay, which means that the institution, the university has to provide for a lot of counseling. Okay, which means that you need to constantly, the student has to make a move and probably meet a lot of professors. They should constantly explore. They should see what other colleges are doing. What are the new courses that they are offering? Can I really borrow credits from there? Can I really, purchase my credits from here? So that kind of a flexibility is available now. And even for the colleges, if let's say, there is one course, I do not have faculty for that particular course, and the student is very interested in that, they can always choose, the online courses that are available, and those credits can be transferred into the program. So the idea is, can you really provide flexibility within the program so that the students can navigate to a career and slowly go from first year to the third year or fourth year, knowing very well what they are good at, and there is a scope for specialization in that area. So I think, the NEP has opened the doors for it, and now it is for students to chart the course, which means they need to be constantly informed. They should be constantly counseled. They should seek counseling and then move ahead. Okay, that would be my advice.
Okay. Thank you, Rakesh. I have quite an insight into what students are made to study and how that relates to the industry. So, Giri, would you like to add to that? Would you like to say something about this whole topic about syllabi and media?
Hi, Renuka. I think just might be better if I come on board, once students have Q&A, specifically, we could look at that. I think, we'll probably stick to careers and opportunities right now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay. May I add something?
Yes, Rakesh.
Yeah, we'll have a general conversation. I think, anybody who wants to ask a question, they should, I think, use the chat box and they can ask the question, and maybe we can all respond to that. But in other, in every other sense, we can probably have a conversation. So you please, I welcome the other panelists to butt in and, stop me, interrupt me, challenge me. I have no problem. And I don't mind doing that, doing the same to other panelists also. My take from the NEP is that, and any education that you're going to take up, because of the kind of variety of careers that are waiting for you, I think the most important thing that the student should be able to pick up at this stage is critical thinking. It means that, critical thinking, how does it really come? How does a student suddenly become, a critical thinker? We cannot have a course in critical thinking and then become at the end of that course, you cannot become a critical thinker. So if you really look closely at the program, we, at least at CGMC, I can speak for, from the very beginning, we have had courses in social science. Like, our students are very well versed with, contemporary Indian history, which means when they are going to practice journalism, they already have a base of knowledge about what has been happening since 1947. So that enables them to understand some of the issues, current issues, in light of what has happened in the past. So similarly, you have sociology, because you are, at the end of the day, you are trying to talk to a society. You have to know their customs. Even if you make an ad, it is deeply cultural. I remember an ad, I think, by Chevrolet, when it first came into India, they had the sunroof, and Chevrolet was a very Western brand coming into India. And people in India already had options of which car to really buy. So when they came into India, they did not, try to say that we are, General Motors, we are the great company. What they did was they tried to integrate with Indian culture. They said, in your culture, how we fit in, which means that there was one woman who was being driven by her husband to sighting of the moon. So she opens the sunroof and she looks at the moon, and it is Karwa Chauth. So what Chevrolet was trying to do is, Chevrolet was trying to, although it was a foreign brand, it was trying to associate itself with India. So that is what we call localization. Now, you need to have very strong base in your own culture, in your own history, in your own society, to be able to communicate with that audience. Okay, so that is very, very important. So you have sociology, you have Indian history, you have now other arts also, the theater. You need to be a good, voracious reader, and therefore you have English literature. Okay, then you also have English literature doesn't mean only the literature coming from England. I'm talking about Indian writers in English also. We have award-winning writers in English coming from India. We have made English our own language. So I think, we need to read Indian writers in English also. So in addition to that, I think, wide exposure to politics, which means political science, you have to have, if you are trying to go out, let's say, cover elections, you have to have very good understanding of politics. Okay. So, and then what binds all of this is economics. So a foundational course in economics is so necessary for a student to be able to cut through and look at news for what it is. So a foundation in these areas is always good, and that makes students, their pieces that they write or the pieces that they make for television are going to can have that critical eye, which means that everybody is looking at the same issue, but the way you look at that issue is going to be different from other people from other institutions. So look for institutions which provide you the foundation in critical thinking. Yeah.
Rakesh sir, shall I add something to what you said?
Please.
You're bang on. And these things are very important, the basics. I mean, in fact, the background you said, the history you said, let me add a new word, basics. Basics are from the traditional side, most of the time. Like advertising also, the basics are from the traditional media. So even if you want to master digital media, you have to look at the basics like, brand positioning or target group, identify the market segmentation. All these things are from the traditional media. So you, with a very strong footing on the basics, you can build on that. That is how the learning happens. So I think that would be probably the concluding point of what Rakesh sir was talking about. I just wanted to add that point.
Okay. I think since it's already 12 o'clock and we have to wrap up by 12:30, and I will also take the suggestion that Professor Rakesh Katare said about getting the students who are really our chief guests in a way, to get them also to speak about their concerns and questions. So the panelists are free to reply to any of the queries. So everyone in the attendees, all the students, all the potential students who have logged in, if you have any queries or questions, do type it in or do raise your hand. So like, I can ask you all to speak. Are there any questions, please? Otherwise, we will go on with other themes for discussion.
I think Vaishnavi may like to add something about internships, need for internships and
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So I would also like to add that Indian media and entertainment industry is a $30 billion industry and it's growing. And all the industry reports suggest that the next 2 decades are really important for the entertainment industry. And there's a lot of opportunities for growth in the entertainment industry as well. So often we do the mistake of thinking that journalism and media studies is all about, it's also a lot about news and politics and economics and sociology. But I would like to add that there's a whole world of entertainment world out there with a lot of job opportunities. And so for the students, it's like a real great time to be in this field. And I would also like to add that for the parents, I often hear students coming back and saying, which minor should I choose, or, what should be my priority in terms of, but my parents are suggesting this. My little word of advice for the parents is that, yes, it's very important to guide the students in the right direction and to bring in your knowledge. But at the same time, I think the final decision should also be in the hands of the students. The reason I'm saying this is it's very important to give your 100% to the course that you pick up. And so while it's very important to get your parents into it in terms of, it's just like marriage, in India. So yes, it's very important to have complete blessings in the subject, but the final decision, I think, should be a lot in the hands of the students too.
Very true, very true.
And okay, I'm sorry, I missed the internship part. If you still want me to answer that. Yeah, I think when it comes to internships, experiment with a whole lot of organizations where you think, your interest lies. And just like Professor Rakesh was talking about testing waters, do not get too worked up about if I choose internship in this particular department or this organization, I'm going to be stuck in that department or organization forever. So this is a time, internship is the best time to experiment. Internship is a lot of a good time to even, in fact, once you're within an organization, to pick up skills from the other departments of that organization, because everybody loves to give gyan in an organization to interns, because when you go in for internship, they feel like, oh, they see a little bit of a younger version of themselves and they want to give a lot of gyan. So take advantage of it and learn a lot. Do not go with, oh, this is my internship I'm supposed to do for 2 months or a month or whatever the fixed thing is, with a very, oh, I need it for the course kind of an attitude, versus I want to learn, all possible things from this organization while I'm doing my internship there.
I want to add one point, because Renuka will not add this. She is handling internships, and we have been having it. We have been having 100%, all the internships are fixed by Renuka in CJMC, and CJMC undertakes to fix all the internships of all the students. The students are free to find their organization, but most of our students have done more than one internship. One internship is in any case mandatory. They do spend 1 or 2 months, but they also get to choose. Once that we have a student who's doing an internship, wants to do an internship in Kannada News now. Earlier, she has already done internship in O&M or in contract. Okay, so these are the companies, all the top companies: CNBC, Times, Deccan Herald, and Colors Kannada. You name it, all the local or upcountry news channels, ad agencies, PR agencies. Our students, we have fixed up internships everywhere. Day before yesterday, we fixed up an internship in eastmojo.com because the student wanted an internship in Shillong. Okay, and East Mojo is started by
Dharma Paljor.
Dharma Paljor, who was one of the important journalists of CNN IBM. So, and it is doing extremely well. They virtually have covered the entire Northeast like nobody else does. So he has been able to get an internship there. So we look at students' interests and we sort of tie it up with the organizations which would be more suitable. and there is a lot of interaction between student and the faculty coordinator before they actually say that, yes, this is the best internship for me. And they do more than one internship. That is another thing, that we've been able to provide at CJMC. Sorry, I just wanted to plug in our advantage here.
Yeah, thank you, Rakesh. And yes, internships are one, thing over here.
There's a
in
question
CJMC.
on.
Yeah, there are
what
some questions. Questions. Yes, Mr.
So,
Surendra, please go on.
Yeah, this question is from some, I think one of the parents asking which career to choose from, or which part of advertising to choose. They have shown interest in advertising. So what can I possibly choose? We need to make it the area of interest very specific, because advertising is a very extensive field. There are a lot of things to look at within advertising. You have 5 in mass media, and there are so many in digital side. And within each, you have a lot of, within an ad agency, there are multiple roles and multiple, what you call, job descriptions. So it's too extensive to answer in one sentence. We need to know what your aptitude is for and what your interest is for. My thumb rule, one general thumb rule, what I would love to pass on is go by, in fact, it's further to what Vaishnavi said and what Murthy sir said. A, of course, passion, what you are passionate about. And B, definitely the second thumb rule is what you are good at, what you are really good at doing. And there will be some point where both these are coinciding. You will be good at doing something, you're passionate about that. Go by that, don't worry. In fact, what parents normally or often make is to go by scope. This has got a lot of scope, let's do it. Computer is one classic example. A lot of them are not born for computer at all, but they end up taking computers. No offense to the field, I'm saying the student's aptitude versus what is offered.
Yeah.
So go by your passion, A, B, go by your own expertise. If both are pointing in one direction, just go ahead with it. Scope will follow.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Mr. Ummi. Actually, thank you for answering that question. There's one more question. I didn't take the first question because I was not sure, because it says only panelists. Yeah, Vaishnavi.
No, sorry to interrupt. I would like to answer the question on how will the course benefit me if I'm not clear on which. Can I take that one?
Yeah, shall I read out the question once, Vaishnavi?
Yes, sure.
So someone is asking, it says anonymous, I'm not sure which career I want to pursue, but I'm sure it's something in media. So how will this course benefit me? So yes, Vaishnavi.
Yes. So for this, I just like to quickly give you a small insight into how my media journey began, and I'll try to link it up there. Because see, when I first started, the thought that I want to be in media came when I was in my 9th standard, and there was a National Geographic magazine I was reading, and all of a sudden, I just got so excited, and I didn't know what exactly excited me, but I knew that I wanted to be in media. And so from that day onwards, I just went into, doing a lot of research on media, and I didn't really know which specific career within media I wanted. But I think what the course does for you is to give you an overall 360-degree view of what the different careers opportunities within media can be like. So this is your best way to explore different areas within media. And also do not get, again at the end of the course, do not treat it as, okay, I have now decided and now it's going to be only this. Because like even in my case, I started off with television and then I moved to radio, then again back to television, back to radio. So I was continuing to...
You're also writing a book.
Yes, I also wrote a book. So I'm continuously exploring different opportunities within media. And I think it's going to be a lifelong journey. Once you're passionate about media, there are so many other things that will open up, and start somewhere. And when you want to start somewhere, the course is the first starting point from where you begin to explore. And then one thing leads to another, and universe will always pitch in at the right time to make your dreams come true.
So nice.
Let me add 1 or 2 points to what has been said.
Yes.
Prasamurthy here.
Yes, sir.
My understanding is bachelor's degree is broad-based. You're going to study less and less about more and more, because there are lots of courses. We study 40, 45 courses in the entire thing. Thereby, we get to know about everything. As you move from bachelor's to master's, the depth starts increasing. Probably we narrow down the the kind of things. And when you go to PhD, obviously you're going to take one specific topic and go deep into that and try to understand. Therefore, my recommendation is don't worry about the kind of program. Approximately you have an idea, get into that program, start exploring in your BTech program, be a bachelor's program. Normally, bachelor's program is the best time for you to decide what you want to be. Obviously, bachelor's degree is one, which will be normally a kind of license that you get to venture into newer things. For example, I did my bachelor's in electrical engineering, did my master's in electronics, PhD in computer science. I started moving from one to the other because I started getting more clarity. And this was way back in 1980s. And I did not see any kind of growth for PhD, whatever. I did my PhD because I liked it, because that's why I was passionate. Those things are going to clarity starts evolving once you get into a program, start doing things. Therefore, don't try to worry too much about it. It's media studies, get into journalism, mass communication, then start identifying which part of the media studies would be of interest to you, then start exploring it. That's the right way to do things. Instead of jumping into conclusion at the beginning itself, because we don't know how the things are going to pan out. Because of the disruptions that are happening, there are a lot more changes that are going to happen over a period of time. The changes that are happening from when I studied and today are far different. Therefore, I would recommend that don't have to worry too much about it at this point of time. Clarity gets evolved over a period of time. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So yeah, that's the reply to Anonymous. Just join the degree. That clarity will appear after 3 years. It is bound to, as you see what options you have. So, any other questions? Anyone else wants to ask any question? If not, write in the chat box.
I think, one piece of advice for every student, whenever you're choosing a college or a course, program is very, very important. You need to definitely check with the program, but also look at the faculty list and their background. Do we have faculty? Does the institution have faculty who have come from the industries, particularly because this is a very professional course and it will require industry inputs. For example, in CJMC, we have the services of UNISA here. Similarly, we have people who are working in the industry and they come and they deliver courses on a turnkey basis. So you have people continuously coming, even the faculty members who are on the rolls, they've had background in the industry. For example, Giri is from television industry, his work for Bloomberg, his work for Times Now and other channels. Similarly, you have Renuka, who has also come from the industry. She's got about 18 years experience being a special correspondent in Hindu, Bangalore Mirror, and so there is nothing that she would not know about journalism. So please, when you choose, any institution, look at the faculty list. Do they have background? Have they really done the work? Okay, because after having spent, so many years in the industry, the kind of knowledge you actually pick up from the industry is phenomenal. But that doesn't mean that, theory should be undermined. Many parents make the mistake of asking us that, does the course offer practicals? Okay, now there is no theory without practicals and there is no practicals without theory. And both are guided by research also. Now, when you look down upon theory, you are looking down upon research. And I think this is very, very bad. So one contributes to the other, one has a symbiotic relationship with the other. And therefore, whenever you choose a course, don't fall for this polytechnic kind of courses. It should have theory and it should give you a lot of time to practice also. Plus, you need to have teachers who have done it all, seen it all, who are guiding you on a day-to-day basis. Not just come as guest faculty and go away. No, 1 or 2 classes, that is not going to help. Are the industry level or, great academicians interacting with you for an entire course? Okay, so that gives you an opportunity to actually learn from their experience.
Okay, if there are, I can't see any more questions being typed in. So may I ask the other students also who are currently in CJMC to share with the audience here what they are learning or how they are finding it useful to be in CJMC? Vichika, would you like to speak? Okay, till they make up their minds.
Renuka, can I add on one small
Yes,
point
yes,
to
please,
what
yes.
Vaishnavi said and what Mukti ji said?
Hmm.
See, the volume of opportunities within media is humongous. It's endless virtually. So, when you choose your specialization, as I think I'm wording it slightly different to what Vaishnavi said, there is an element of trial and error. I think Murthy sir also put it in a different set of words. So you are likely to make a mistake. Like, what he said, you go in, you find out this is not the place, you move on, you go somewhere else. Don't feel bad doing it, because many people are likely to do it because very often they themselves don't know what exactly they want to do for want of information, for want of awareness. Don't feel bad. Feel happy doing it at this stage, and you can afford to make a few mistakes here. So don't at all feel frustrated or irritated or sad that I made a mistake. My God, what happens? You can afford to make mistakes, and there are people to correct. Please feel free to speak to the institution at length in detail, so that you are very clear. You are going to get somewhere exactly what you have in mind.
Yeah. Vaishnavi, would you like to say anything about that?
I would just like to quickly add a point on a different note, if that's okay. In terms of there was a topic which was being discussed earlier or at the beginning in the introductory thing about AI and how we need to adapt. So I want to bring that in here mainly because of the job opportunities thing. So while it's understood that AI will replace a lot of existing jobs, it doesn't mean that there are going to be lesser jobs. So I know it's on a completely different note from what we were just talking, but I just wanted to cover this topic that it will only produce more jobs in the future, but the jobs will be of different kinds. So the current students who are going to get into the industry, some of the jobs in the future, even currently existing, might exist for them in the future. So I think the skill to look for is adaptability. And if you can work on a lot of soft skills, I think, which the universities are usually very well equipped to provide. So along with all the will to a great length in ensuring that there are a lot of job opportunities for the students in the future.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that's quite heartening that the jobs are not going to disappear. They're only going to become of a different nature, and we can get our students to learn those skills. I can see two more questions here. One is Shriya Rao, who's asking, after completing this course, can I go directly to industry or should I do a PG? And then there's one more question from Vichika, which says, how important are internships and how will the faculty be able to help me with them?
That is a question for you.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So I will take Vichika's question. It says, how important are internships and how will the faculty be able to help me with them? This is for everyone else also who might be in the attendees list, who might be wanting to know what we do about it. So first thing is, see, as students, a lot of students might go through the whole 3 years of degree without really knowing what industry is like. And then you go very raw into industry. And this internship is, one thing is, it is mandated, as in the UGC guidelines, they are telling us to include an internship. So that is one important thing. The second point is that internships help you to get an idea about what the industry is like and whether you are going to like that industry stint that you are doing while you are in college, and then decide whether you want to go down the same road or you want to switch sides. Like Mr. Unni said, that you keep trying out. This is the age to try out different things. So the first thing is, go and work in a place, at least get to know what is an office like, what is it like to to have a boss, to work with peers, to work in a team, to do what you're told to do, and not to have some, a kind teacher who will still extend your deadline and say, okay, it's okay. It is not okay. You have to learn how to work, how to do your, job within a given time. Deadline driven, certainly, because that's what it is all about in the media. How good are you at your skills? Is it entry level? Is it just about familiar? Are you an expert at using your software, or whatever you have, whatever you have to do, whether it's a field job or a desk job, or whether it's something that combines the two. So that is what this internship gives you, a peep into industry. And that is an invaluable exposure, I would say, because once you're back, you come back wiser. If it is successful, okay, you're going to be okay even after you graduate. If you're not, then you have learned that that is not the kind of thing that I will be
One more
wanting
point
to do.
to add to what
Yes.
Rekha has said. I think internships are a very good way to audit our courses, which means that when you go to the industry and you give us the feedback, you
Yes.
also know whether your program is equipping you properly to be
Yes.
able to take on the challenges in the industry.
Yes. And yes.
So we get a very good feedback from the industry that, what are the things that, we are falling short of. So we do, it provides, the college an opportunity to audit their, program, every semester, every year, and see, what improvements and improvisations are necessary in their respective courses. So I think, it's very, very important that you take up internship.
Yeah, it
And
is.
also,
true.
I think, teamwork, when you are in the institute, you can do projects with your friends. But when it also tells you that, when you go into the industry, your friends may not follow you, and you may have to work with very difficult people. So it sort of gives you, a chance to, how do you adjust yourself, how your social skills, all these are going to be tested. So internships
Yes.
are, way of growing up virtually.
Yeah.
Rakesh sir, sorry, one small bit. Internships are either multi-level or multiple. You can try out either of this depending on the type of nature of your interest, your target. Multi-level is, you have intern on the same subject, same field again and again, and you consolidate your expertise on that. Multiple is, doing different types of internships. You do on creativity this time, you do on client service next time. So that is also useful. If you're not decided, probably that makes more sense. Whereas if you're very well fine-tuned and decided and final about what you're going to do a multi-level internship. Same thing again and again. There's chances are that you might get absorbed by that same company if it's a good one.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. And in fact, sir, some of our interns have been asked to continue in once the degree is over, that they have got a job offer in that place. So the other second part of Vichika's question, how will the faculty be able to help me with them? So yes, at CJMC, we are helping all students with internships every year. And the best part is that we try to accommodate what their area of interest is. And sometimes we also place them in internships which are in other cities than Bangalore. And that's been working quite okay up till now. So the
And
other
Shreya's question
that's
that,
it. One more Shreya's, I think Rakesh with and everyone else, I think that's the only question we can take today, and then we'll have to kind of wind up because it's
I think
12:26.
Shreya should go ahead and
Yes.
she should look at post-graduation, because especially because of what Murthy sir was telling us, that now you're using the undergraduates, the bachelor's program mainly to test the waters, and you will have to, although there are specializations built into CJMC's program, still I think I would recommend that they go ahead and do their postgraduate studies, because you can intensify your study areas of interest in the future. I think people should go all the way to do PhD also.
Okay.
Priya,
Can I just add something?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I
It's frozen, I think.
Earlier, the system was very set in terms of completing education and then moving on to, jobs. But I think in today's world, learning should be a lifelong priority. And I feel even once you start learning, once you start earning, at least 5 to 10% of your income you have to set aside for learning, for continuing your studies. And I feel it should be continuous. So it will be a lot more beneficial if she tests the waters in the industry a bit and comes back and does a PG. So I'm all for her doing a PG, but Shreya, my take would be do a bit of work and come back and do the PG.
Yeah, Shreya, we are unanimous that you should get into a PG program. Not only you, anybody who wants to, because, as Murthy sir very nicely, beautifully put it, it is a very general grip that you get into at UG level. Specialization you will get only in PG. You can know deeply about that subject only if you get into PG. So, for example, like, you have an interest in art direction. You need to know what brand management is against that backdrop. Then only you will be able to do your art direction job much better. And which comes only in a PG when you do it. And branding is an endless learning process. It cannot be completed even with 5 years of learning, because it has to continue. It has to start from the college. But for you to be thorough with brand management, you have to go on and on. So please, at least don't stop till you complete your PG. Doctoral studies, if you're interested in teaching, definitely. But those things.
Even in the area of cinema, for example, it's always nice that they go ahead and do a course in film direction or film cinematography at FTII or any of or even in foreign universities. So I think they should pursue for specialization in certain areas of media studies. I think they should go ahead and do this. Yeah. Only thing is that please choose your area and your institute very well, because there are institutions within the city here in Bangalore and outside, where many of our students who have gone ahead and done post-graduation, and they came back and they said, sir, we are not learning anything new. Okay, whatever we had already learned in UG is sort of repeating. So please choose your PG course, it should really offer you the specialization that you're looking for.
I'm fascinated by what Vaishnavi said, take a small gap, work for a little bit. Sounds fabulous, except that Vaishnavi, I just wanted to sort of raise this point with you. Many of these people, what happens is once they start working and taste money, the hard money, very often the motivation to come back into a PG program definitely is much less. Whereas if you have to, one place where you have to do a PG or you have to work for some time is an MBA. Don't ever get into an MBA program without work experience. Many people I've seen do it, and they definitely, it's a big limitation. You need to be in the work front before you get into an MBA program.
True. Thank you. Yeah. So, Giri, would you like to say something on all the topics that we've discussed? Dr. Abhilasha?
I could give a course overview, but I know that Rakesh sir did touch upon it. But principally, we are looking at offering 3 specializations as well as 3 minors. As Dr. KNB Murthy sir said earlier, the program we are offering is really one where you can come and explore a lot of opportunities. And essentially, there are 8 separate streams that you're looking at. One is journalism, of course, and that is across board. There is a print, there is digital, there's radio still, there is television, right? And then we got video production. If it's and you can really top it with the dream short film project of yours, if you're choosing that. There is, of course, IMC, Integrated Marketing Communication, which will be, of course, handled by Surendra Nonisa. There we are also looking at corporate communication. We are looking at PR, right? We are also looking at ad films. So you have this fantastic idea for an ad film. Come on board. You can explore that, how well that will go for you, work out for you. We also have 3 minors, and these are also very interesting stuff. We got English literature, we got psychology, we also got theater, right? So minors are gonna add that extra fun flavor to it, but at the same time, it's gonna give you that extra 3 options. You feel that, okay, maybe, this psychology is what I really wanna taste and see where it leads me. Come on board, you're welcome, right? We also got social media marketing. Now,
whichever field, whichever area you are in, you cannot escape social media marketing, or rather digital media marketing, right? That is what will help you get to your consumer or whoever you want to reach out to, right? And that is also, so that's a 7th stream. We also have research, right? Now, there's so much emphasis right now. Every university, the world, of course, is looking at research. And without these research and all that, you wouldn't even be talking about AI and all that. So no getting away from research as well. So if you are planning to continue to the 4th year, that's where you'll get the full benefit of research as per NEP, right? So the program is really one that is explorative in nature. In the first 2 years, you will gain all the basic skills. And then the 3rd year, you'll look at specializing. And by specializing, mostly what happens in colleges and universities is that you have a bunch of papers and you tick them. Oh, I did this paper, I did this paper, I did this paper. The good thing about a 3rd year where you're specializing is you're not going to be looking at other papers. And you have one full year. It's not like I finished a semester and I'm done with the specialization. No, you'll have that one entire year to specialize. So if you're looking at journalism, you will do reporting, you'll come out with those reports, you'll publish them, and that'll keep happening till you hone your skills, till you're ready to hit the road running, so to speak, if you want to really go into the industry right after that. So let's say you want to look at it like a normal degree, end of 3rd year, I'm done, I'm ready, I want to go look for a job. We want to keep you ready for that. So that 1 year, the 3rd year, you'll spend just honing the skills. Let's say it's video production. You will be looking at making short films, you'll be looking at making documentaries, you'll be looking at making ad films, whatever that area that interests you, right? You will do that for 1 entire year, and that you're ready for that. And then you will go out. Same with IMC. You will be doing corporate communication campaigns. You'll be doing PR campaigns. It's essentially IMC. Let me not even call it corporate communication campaigns or PR campaigns. Let me call it IMC, Integrated Marketing Communications Campaigns, 361, right? That'll also include ad films and everything. And you will be just focusing only on that for that 1 year. So that when you look for a job and they ask you for your portfolio, you have everything. Can you really join a company and start working from day one without too excessive training? Sometimes what happens is you go from a college and you go there, you have to unlearn everything you did in college, and then you have to start afresh, which is why in CGMC, we only get professionals to teach, because then you don't have to unlearn and learn new things. That happens with a lot of programs. You don't have to unlearn. You already learned some bit. Now you're going to top it up with that experience of yours. So that's pretty much the program. And we, of course, have other interesting stuff like, the basic computer skills and training modules, etc. So that's a program overview. Back to you, Renika. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Giri. Thanks so much for that detailed information. So I think it's 5 minutes past our scheduled time. So I think unless anyone else has particular to say, maybe we can wrap it up.
A quick closing remark from my end would be, so if you're at that decision-making juncture, I'll tell you, don't overthink. A quick parallel is when you walk into a clothing store and you already know the first piece of clothing that you like, but sometimes you don't end up buying it because you want to explore all the possible opportunities, and then you explore so much, then you're so cluttered with different thoughts that your decision making gets very difficult. So don't overthink. When you know it's in your heart and it's kind of falling in place, just go for it. And all the best for your future, and I'm sure you're going to have a great life in media.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Anyone else, or should I say thank you to everyone from you?
So wonderful to be here, and thanks to CJMC for this wonderful opportunity. It's great always interacting with the parents and students live. So there is some interest, and in fact, I would have been happy to field more questions. I'm sure if there are questions after this, kindly let us know. It can be sent to us, any of us. We would love to answer, and any of them can.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vaishnavi, so much, and thank you so much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. KNB Murthy sir. Thank you, Giri. Thank you, Rakesh, and thank you all the attendees, all the students and potential students who actually sat through 2 hours on a weekend, on a Saturday, to attend this webinar.
Thank you, so students, in case if you are interested, please log into our website, dsu.edu.in, and you can fill in the application over there, or you could call up this number 080-4646-180, 1800. In case if you need more information, about the campus, about the program, about anything that is still not allowing you to make up your mind, please get in touch with our career advisors and we'll be happy to look at resolving your queries so that you are able to make a quick decision in terms of your program of study with Dayanand Sagar University. Our campus is situated at Kudlu Gate. It is very well accessible. And in another couple of months, we'll also have the metro station at Kudlu Gate, which is going to be operational. So it's going to be very, very well accessible by any modes of transport. So that is one thing that we would wanted to inform the students. Second, yes, you have heard all the experts, and that's how the campus life is going to be. That's how the entire duration of your program is going to be with us. So rest assured, any queries, please feel free to call us on the numbers that is displayed on the screen of us. So thank you so much for being a part of this. A special thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and to the Dean, as well as the faculties from the College of Journalism and Mass Communication, and of course to our distinguished panelists for having taken out time and being part of this webinar series to share their views about the application orientation and how to choose the program of studies when it is coming to journalism and mass communication. So thank you so much on behalf of the university. We definitely will be grateful to you for your time that you have taken out to guide the students. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Shinde.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks to all the esteemed fellow panelists. It was wonderful sharing the stage with you.
Thank you.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I had a great time interacting with all of you, and it's always a pleasure, to be part of this university. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi.
Yeah,
It was a very rare opportunity with two audiovisual specialists, Vaishnavi and Rakesh sir. So I'm a print guy, more of a print guy. So of course I love film.
We are all communicators.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.